The words you say, because surely something like that would trigger me.
I've been triggered. I was triggered when he told me I was not the most beautiful woman in the world.
Hey guys, welcome to Little Blackbird 91. Listen, we're having a review of Married at First Sight Australia Season 12. Look, we're going to deal with Episode 12, but I want to tell you about this situation that happened between Ryan and Jacqui, who you just saw there. Ryan failed to protect his wife, Jacqui, and actually, he has been doing a few things that have been emotionally uncovering his wife. So today's video, we're going to talk about protecting your spouse emotionally. Look, I would never be okay if my partner went behind my back and started talking about me to the ladies in a negative sense. And I think that's exactly what Ryan ended up doing, the husband. Ryan went behind her back to the boys and spoke in a way that was explicit sexually about their relationship to the boys. And I have to say again, would you feel some type of way if this was you in a relationship? I think most of us would, if you said it in a negative sense. So, your words can either build or it can tear down your partner and your spouse. So we need to talk about how we can emotionally protect one another in that space. It's a non-negotiable, because otherwise the cards will fall. And so in this video, we're going to talk about protecting yourself and protecting your partner in the way that you deal with things. All right. So before we do, make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, click on that bell button for notifications of the uploads. We appreciate you. Stay locked and stay loaded. I don't know what's on my forehead. I got a little sign on my forehead. There we go. All right. Listen. Let's get into the video. If you don't know the story between Ryan and Jacqui, I will break it down for you.
Tonight, the way I defended my husband when it's really not called for. I literally came into this experiment saying I need intelligence and loyalty, but I think
Ryan made explicit comments within the boys group talking about how great her head game was, but he said that she had crazy eyes at the same time. Now, these two had made a pact before they came into the dinner at Married at First Sight to say, listen, we're going to be together, we're going to stick together no matter what. Well, that plan unraveled, unfortunately. Well, because new news was released into their midst. Now, I don't like the way that the couples around the table gouged at them and went at them at the table. I felt like it was detrimental and it wasn't helping their growth in any shape or any fashion. But this is entertainment. I think also the men also missed a trick here. You should have held them accountable in the men's chat. And because the men felt some type of way about the conversation after, rather than holding him accountable and saying, okay, you know what, we finished a meeting amongst the boys, maybe we should call up Ryan and tell him this behavior is unacceptable. They didn't do that. They waited till they got to the dinner table and then launched an attack, both men and women. And I felt like this was counterproductive to actually bring in about a better, a healthier relationship for these two. So going back to the main story, Ryan had said these explicit comments. He was wrong. He was out of pocket, and it was dangerous because actually it opens a door for other people to disrespect your partner, which actually disrespects you. And if you really care about your partner, you don't want to open them up to disrespect, right? Now, so Jacqui too, also, when she was hearing the information back, bear in mind she had already made a play with him, talking about how they're going to set themselves up as a team and fight against whatever happens. They actually did that until the very end. And so she felt betrayed and disrespected by those comments because she was blindsided. She didn't know this. He never let her know. He emotionally exposed her, not only to the boys by saying that comment, but now he exposed her to the table and she looked humiliated. And so these are emotional things that are happening. This is a failure to emotionally protect your partner. Now, like I said, words can build or destroy. But your spouse should always feel safe with you. Emotional safety. They should know that when they are with you, that you're not going to embarrass them or humiliate them. You're not going to expose them to the world. In fact, Adam and Eve has a great story about how when they both felt naked, they covered themselves with fig leaves. And in some sense, you should be covering your partner with some fig leaves. Maybe not the same way that Adam and Eve did it. But you should cover your partner with fig leaves. Cover them so that they are not exposed to the rest of the world. What happened on that table was that everybody started to nitpick at Ryan, but also then started asking Jacqui questions. And Jacqui had to play like she was crazy and that she was okay with it because she felt uncomfortable and because she had made a promise to stick together. The trust was eroded in that moment because now I trusted you that when we came into this place, you've told me everything. She asked him, have you told me everything? He said, yes, not knowing that this was about to come her way. All right. Now, respect and honor goes both ways. Ryan is consistently wanting his respect. And I understand it because sometimes Jacqui can be too much. But the reality of the situation is if you're going to demand it, make sure you lead, as a man should, by showing that respect first. You don't teach people by doing the very thing that you feel like they shouldn't do by doing the same thing. You teach them by doing the better thing so that they can lead and say, that's not what we want to do. Okay? And so in that space, his wife was objectified, unfortunately, and not magnified and glorified. And so she looked like a glorified sex worker, literally, who is married to him. And that's how he put it, almost in a sense. Okay, I'm exaggerating a little bit. But the way he boiled it down to that one moment of, that crazy explicit comment, it was painful to see, right? And so you have to understand that people are watching your relationship. People are waiting to see how they can charge in and tear at your relationship, because on that table, everybody's trying to see what the weaknesses are of everybody. Not everybody has your best interest at heart, and you expose yourself to that. Okay. Now I want to hear one of the other couples who speak about their relationship.
Really talking about the comments that Ryan made. Jacqui just keeps bringing back the past and the fact that he didn't put her first, during the whole ranking task. But the thing.
Now, unfortunately, because the exposure happened, Jacqui was actually triggered. And as she was triggered in that moment, she also went back to a previous argument, because that previous argument really and truly had not really been resolved. They had covered it up, but he hadn't resolved it. And again, this is where, because now we're not emotionally protecting each other, we're now going to unravel each other. And so in the midst of the table, she went back on a promise by saying she wouldn't talk about a past issue, which they quote unquote resolved, and not talk about it. But she did on the table, and she went and said about how he put me third and I'm triggered all over again. Well, actually, I understood why, because the same behavior has elicited now in public the same disrespect and disregard and the lack of carefulness on the words that we are speaking. Now, I do think both of them are an issue, but we're talking about Ryan on this occasion and his lack of emotional protection. As a husband, never open your wife up to public ridicule and now and critique in this particular way, right? He wanted to feel protected, but he couldn't because you hadn't already protected your wife, right? So how do we fix this in future? Because we don't want this to continue to happen. Okay, all right. You must own your mistake. Now, he did apologize, but it was very weak. He needed to apologize. Maybe I'd have thought taking your partner outside, had a real conversation for a minute or two, apologize, let her know where you went wrong and how you've embarrassed her, and you apologize for that. That would have been ownership, right? Number two, you make it right. You might have to speak to the public and say, listen, ladies and gentlemen, you are right. I was wrong. In that moment with the boys, I made a joke. I miscalculated in that moment, and I am very, very sorry. The reason why they kept on going is because Ryan was unaccountable, and he's been unaccountable since the very beginning. He believes he's right because he's a warrior, but does not see that as a warrior, you need to also have the other aspect of you, which is empathetic and caring. Worrying, or being a warrior, you are warring. And as a point in time, you have to put down the weapons and begin to build. And the warrior is about fighting, fine, but at some point you're gonna have to build. Okay, set a new standard. Okay, and she tried to do that with him actually by saying, we agreed that you're going to speak highly of me, you're going to speak good words of me, and that's fine, right? But he now needs to honor that in his actions. And he did say he will do that from now on, and that he'll make sure that she says that she's the most amazing woman in the world. And he did seem like he was caught off guard. But the problem is, again, the lack of accountability, lack of remorse seemingly as well. Okay? Your partner will always need reaffirming and will need always a safe space. And you have to think about how you're going to create that. And you're going to create that by being non-judgmental and not by providing solutions too early. Listen actively, hear them, and validate their emotions and their feelings, and then give solutions. In that instance, when that situation happened and she was triggered, as we see again.
Careful the words you say, because surely something like that would trigger me.
I've been triggered. I was triggered when he told me I was not the most beautiful woman in the world.
So, again, once more, right? Create the safe space by offering a space of non-judgmentalness where you can actually discuss things without obviously blowing up, right? And reaffirm them, validate them. That's all a part of the emotional protection that we offer to our partners. I want to say this. If you've ever experienced this in a relationship, how did it make you feel? If you've ever experienced a situation where your partner failed to cover you, let me know how it felt in the comment section. What are some of the ways that you felt your partner was protecting you or did not protect you, or did protect you, so I should say even as well, right? Let us know in the comment section. And I want to say this in future. The way to handle these situations is, number one, probably in a more calmer fashion, in a more secluded area where both of you are one-to-one, and you guys are more calmer, so that you're not emotionally aroused when you're having a conversation. Okay. Hopefully this video is not even hopefully. I know this video would have helped you. So make sure you subscribe, you like, and you share. But also, if you are somebody who's going through this right now, maybe you're going through a relationship where this has been in your experience, please reach out to me. Right. This is what we do at Coaching One-to-One. We help you transform, grow, and heal. I want to help you guys build emotional intimacy in your relationships from here on out as well. Okay, so check the link in the description box. But for those of you who are here, like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notifications of the uploads. We appreciate you. Stay locked and loaded. We're going to leave you now, and we'll see Saranara, as they would say. All right. Peace out.
Black book. You know what time it is. Time it is. Time it is.